A couple of years ago, Greta Thunberg was all over the news, riding the waves of climate change as the prophet of the impending climate apocalypse. Governments introduced new taxes under the pretext of moving away from fossil fuels. Activists were gluing themselves to the asphalt. Kids were throwing paint on precious works of art. At work, we started to segregate garbage that the cleaning lady would then throw into a single bin. Our paper straws were turning to mush while we were trying to enjoy our drinks. Things were happening, it seemed. Climate was a hot topic. This pun was intended, by the way. The incessant media coverage worked. Lots of people agreed. Lots of people were concerned. I was concerned. Sometimes I would worry about the future, where all the ice melted, raising the water level and flooding cities, where it would be difficult to grow crops, to find fresh water, with hundreds of millions of people displaced and entire ecosystems lost. I'm not worried anymore. I'm a pessimist. Future blooms with possibilities, new viruses and bacteria immune to antibiotics, war between China and USA, a sunflare destroying electronic devices, AI turning into Skynet, genetically engineered soldiers, degradation of the most precious forests, corporate dystopia, governments turning authoritarian, overpopulation at over 11 billion people, or demographic collapse, automation making people obsolete, nuclear war, and we could continue the list after another puff. I might have worried about some of these options. Why am I not worried now? Well, you could say that nearly all of the above would likely not impact me, as they are much farther in the future than my expected lifetime. Let's look at something closer to home. We're inoculated to accidents through the daily dose of news. Such events are so commonplace we find them boring. But accidents happening to people we know, or to us, mishaps that could have gone way worse, they do strike the chord. Suddenly, our fragility and mortality is on full display. It's abundantly clear that something like that may very well happen to us. The illusion of the main character shatters. Say, I'm particularly fearful of driving a car. I'm imagining situations where I have a lapse of attention and steer the car into someone. Or that some rookie will be speeding through the city, lose control of the wheel, and I won't have time to react. Such accidents are common after all, but a brief moment of reflection allows me to imagine a world where such misfortune is avoided. I may regain the control of the vehicle, slow down in time, or I simply left the house 5 minutes later and avoided the speeding madman. What then? Am I safe? Have I survived? Have I won? Well, no. In the longer perspective, there are countless other things that could kill me, and in fact, one of them will come true. For every possible future disaster, if it is avoided, it merely opens the door to new hazards. If I don't die in a car crash, I may die of a heart attack. If I don't die of a heart attack, I may get killed by a thug. If I won't get killed by a thug, I may die from a stroke. If not this, then something else will be my end. The inevitable eventuality of my death frees me from worrying about the particular way it will come. We can circle back to the first part with an ever-expanding list of future large-scale cataclysms. I see them in the same way. If not AI, then maybe climate change or nuclear war or something else will be our doom. Does it matter which one of these scenarios will come about? Is one better than the other? Should we worry about one of them in particular? I don't think so. For every doom scenario, we can conjure up many alternatives that would be just as horrible and terrifying. We can't avoid them all. Avoiding one may push us straight into another. Avoiding one will at best move the worry onto another. There will always be something, and eventually one possibility will be made real. There is no escape, there is no winning. Future spells destruction, we just don't see the font. With this perspective, any motive to worry about a particular future disaster atrophies as it's lost in the forest of possibilities. That moment in school when I made a fool out of myself in front of my crush, that made me cringe for long years. The other time when I hit my face with a shovel and I chipped a tooth which made me self-conscious about my teeth later. What about the years I wasted for unproductive things? For every one of such ruminations I say, if not this, then something else. And indeed, had I not chipped my tooth, I might have broken an arm, and so on with all the rest. I would always have something in my past to brood over, only the content would be different. And now, there are things in the world at large, such as military conflicts, political tensions, culture war, unease. My life too is far from being all sunshine and rainbows, but every malady that weighs on me is just one of many possibilities, and had it not been this one, another would torment me. The canvas is never blank. It matters little how the strokes of the red paint go. I still worry about many things. I still suffer. It's just that some of the things no longer strangle my mind. Pessimism doesn't provide a solid ground of stoic tranquility, but gusts a light breeze of peace for a moment of respite.